Okay, let's go.
We know that lots of teenagers are having sex. Probably if you just look at kids in high school, starting from 9th grade to 12th grade, the older kids are doing it more than the younger kids, but girls are doing it as much as boys, and overall that's about half of teenagers. So it's a reality in their life, and it's really an important part of their health care.
So we know that adolescents are contracting sexually transmitted infections at a pretty high rate. Adolescent girls are getting pregnant at a time when they are not ready to have a baby, they don't want to have a baby, and there just aren't a lot of tools out there to help them avoid these kind of outcomes.
17 Days is a movie with an ambitious but realistic goal to help high school girls make safer decisions about their sex lives.
CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has highlighted teen pregnancy as one of a winnable public health battle. So in the same way that we've been able to reduce some infections through immunizations, they really believe that we can decrease teen pregnancy rates and unwanted pregnancies by figuring out how we can communicate and offer information to teenagers that might make them behave differently.
We need to tell them straight up, this is about sex.
I was getting to it.
Yes, girls, this is about sex because we know a lot of times we don't think we have choices when it comes to sex.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is show you secret stuff from our lives. You're going to see where we have choices, and you'll be able to help us make different choices.
And then you're going to practice making choices in situations that could happen in your own life, like a rehearsal.
Like with any sex ed video, it's like, oh, what is this? Like, oh, why do I have to watch this? But the difference between this and videos that I've seen in the past is that it is a little bit more realistic to like the world today.
Haley's loving Zach's guitar. I think she's hoping things will get interesting tonight. Everybody seems to have something going on. You can choose whose story to watch.
We started with this approach called the mental models approach, which comes out of engineering, and it's a way of representing a complex system. Sexual decisions are a pretty complex system. There's a lot of things that affect people's decisions. There's a lot of things that affect the kind of outcomes people experience. And so we use this mental models approach to just be very systematic in trying to understand all of the elements of a girl's decision about having sex and the physiological effects that it may have and the emotional effects that it may have, and try to understand everything as one system. And so that led us to do some descriptive research with adolescent girls where we talked to them in quite a lot of detail about their decisions about having sex. And we really learned a lot of things that we didn't expect about how girls make these decisions to have sex. We sort of expected them to say things like, oh, you know, boys pressure you to have sex, or to talk about peer pressure, to talk about all these things that affect their decisions. And really what we found out was that they talked much more about what we call the social setting and the social scripts and the norms of a situation, which is to say, when girls are in situations, they just talk about sex as something that happens in that situation, and they don't really see themselves as having a lot of choice.
They felt that the outcomes might be inevitable. Once things started, they just kind of continued, and that they couldn't identify opportunities to sort of change that storyline.
I've wanted to do this since my first day at work.
What exactly are we doing?
You know.
The situations in the video map onto the situations that girls in our interviews talked about, so that girls watching this video are definitely going to recognize these as the kind of situations that they end up in.
17 Days is a story of 7 high school girlfriends and an eventful weekend in their lives. The viewer picks which story to follow. At key points, she chooses what happens next, learning to make decisions along the way. By doing so, each viewer's experience is interactive and individualized.
Our job is not to tell girls what to do or what not to do. Our job is to really help people make the decisions that they want to make. And so some girls do want to have sex. And participating in our intervention, viewing our video, is not really designed to change their decision. It's designed to help them make a better decision. So even though some girls do want to have sex, they don't want to get an infection. And most of them, they don't want to get pregnant. And so we're still helping them make a better decision, because if they want to engage in a behavior and we can help them decide to make that behavior something that's safer and something that has better outcomes, we're still helping them make a better decision.
This is moving too fast for me.
And then why'd you come in here?
Just to make out.
Just to make out?
Yes.
I'm down with making out.
Really?
Absolutely.
One of the techniques that we use in this video is the cognitive rehearsal. And this is a technique that really came out of sports psychology. If you imagine a pitcher trying to throw the ball directly into the strike zone, that he imagines himself doing it over and over again, and then when he or she does it, the ball goes directly through that strike zone.
Even after you've gone somewhere private, you can still be prepared to set certain boundaries and stick to them.
Imagine doing it. Practice in your head.
In the video, we have the viewer imagine herself in the situation, imagine what she would do, and practice that in her head. And that's been shown in a lot of research to make it easier for people once they're in the situation. They don't have to construct on the fly what they're going to do. They just sort of pull out of their pocket, oh, I know exactly what to say. I have this down.
There's all types of girls, and that's why I think this film is so important, because it shows a lot of different girls and a lot of different perspectives. And, you know, there's a sassy girl that, you know, has the confidence to tell a guy, no, like, I'm not gonna do it. And then there might be the girl that's a little more timid and doesn't really know how to say that, how to say no, or how to say, I'm not ready.
I'm gonna keep my clothes on.
I think it's really good to have a role model and some guidance, because it's not saying that, like, any girl isn't strong enough to figure this out on her own, but having someone say, like, yeah, you're making the right choice, good, go forward, do that, you know, these are the right steps, and make the choice when you're ready, at least you'll be prepared, is way better, because it's everyone does this for the first time, everyone's gonna have a first time, and I think it's important that they feel confident and happy with their choices.
The main large informational section that we wanted to make sure all the girls see was about condoms.
I think it's time for a condom lesson.
Condoms are really the main method of preventing the transmission of sexually transmitted infections if someone is having sex. And so we wanted to make sure the girls knew how to use them properly, knew that the girl could play a role in using them.
In high school, like, we knew what they were, and like, we used them and everything, but the mentality wasn't, I need to have a condom with me. It was like, oh, like, although I'm sexually active, it's like, I'm not gonna have sex without it. I'll get one, you know, I'll find it somewhere. I'll figure out a way to get it.
Condom-wise, I don't think you could be any more thorough than we were in the video.
Jessica, since you must be condom challenged, you better pay attention, okay? Ava, you do it.
Seriously?
Yes, take it, let's go. Here.
Things like this that make it okay and sort of empowers you to not make it a huge deal, I think is very important, because I think that that's definitely lacking in the teenage years.
Good. That's it? That wasn't so hard.
But the zucchini was hard. It's gotta be. Well, I mean, the penis has to be hard if the condom is gonna roll right on like that.
I have one.
No, that's fine. I'll just pull out.
That is not happening. If we're gonna do this, it's with a condom.
I think very much how the boys are depicted in the movie. It's just, they say things like, it doesn't feel as good, or, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll just pull out. Like, it happens every day.
Believe it or not, I have one in my pocket. My friend gave it to me.
But I hate condoms.
I think it's so important for females to be responsible about it and to be knowledgeable and confident in using them.
All right. I get it.
Another part of the video is what we call mini documentaries or mini docs, I guess, kind of infomercials. And we included those things because young women have lots of questions.
Okay, Tess, you can do this. It's just the gynecologist.
Sometimes they have information that is incorrect that may be influencing what they want to do, and we really don't want to have them have incorrect information.
Hi, Tess. I'm Dr. Akers. How are you?
We can put all this together into one place. It's all trustworthy. It's very comprehensive, and anything that she wants to know, she can probably find it in there.
You just ask for it and they give it to you. It's very easy, very simple, and safe. So,
well, good for you for practicing safe sex.
Thank you.
Make sure that if you are having sex, use a condom.
HIV is caused by a virus called the human immunodeficiency virus.
We have so much access to bad information nowadays, or bad images of sex and what it should be, that having a video that's not awkward but is also factual and has like good research behind it, I think is invaluable for especially this generation where we have access to everything but maybe not the right wisdom behind it.
The hope is that it'll stick, and that there will be certain phrases or excuses that they can use to sort of, get out of tough situations. I mean, that's the hope.
No, I'm good where we are.
Let's stay here with everybody. When we know that we have choices, we have control over our lives, and then we're truly free.
It feels like such an important thing to do.